Yeah, thank you for that reminder. I always forget to hit record. Um, yeah, awesome. Great. Thank you guys so much for getting all this stuff into the chat. Teresa, Adrian, Matthias. Yeah, thanks for that question. Awesome. And then finally, at the end of this presentation, we're just going to be reviewing all of the expectations, going over that again, making sure everyone knows what's required before Leap into Science closes out. So first of all, right off the bat, I want to let you guys know, we're hoping that you can all get your 3 activity reports in by April 12th. April 12th is my last day as a STEM Vista. So it would be great if you guys can all get your workshop reports in by then. Now, that being said, I know that I've spoken to a few of you and that might be a struggle. So what I'm going to tell you is if this deadline is going to be difficult for some of you to meet either because of COVID or other reasons, just email me. So if you can't make April 12th, send me an email and we will work out the timeline for getting your workshop reports in. That way we know where everyone is at with getting those reports in. And just remember, you can find your workshop reports. They're in a lot of the emails I've sent. The link should be there, but you can also access it through your educator tab at leap.fi.edu. And it's just a simple, short Google form with a few questions. So make sure you get those workshop reports in by April 12th. Also, congratulations on a very successful National Leap into Science Week. We had really awesome representation for Alaska. We had 9 programs host activities during Leap into Science Week, which was just fantastic. So thank you to all of you who hosted and posted. It was really amazing to see all of the work that you guys are doing. We also the network posted a Leap into Science blog. You guys can check that out. And remember, even though Leap Week is over, you can still post on social media. That's definitely encouraged. The Facebook group for Leap into Science is still open. I'm on there. And also you can remember to tag the Franklin Institute and the Alaska After School Network in any of your Leap into Science posts, because if you post on social media, we definitely want to reshare that. So great job and congrats on a really successful Leap into Science Week. And speaking of Leap into Science Week, I wanted to definitely make space for everyone who's here and who has had really successful workshops, a chance to share out and talk about how they went. We have so many people in the chat, and I might read out a few. Henry with the Center for Alaskan Coastal Studies hosted a WIND session as part of Leap into Science Week. Jerry, you guys had an exciting week, wind and snow and 5 meetings. Our next program will be in April. That's great. And Girl Scouts and Science Club, that's perfect. And lots of collaboration there. Oh, here, we got a few more people coming in. Does anyone want to come off mute and share out how those workshops went? Feel free to just come off mute. Yeah, Adrienne, great.
Yeah, we had a very good group of kids that came in, and it was exciting. First time I did was light and shadow the first night, and then I did balance the next day. And then the third day I did both light and balance on the same day and spread it out and chose the best ones that the kids liked the previous days and put them together in one. And remarkably, that I didn't have no extra kids that showed up on the same days. On the first 2 days, I had the same kids, but on the third day, I had a whole bunch of other kids that came in. So it was really, I reached out to 18 and then 24 and then 19 kids. So it was awesome. We had a grand time. The kids really enjoyed it. They asked if we was going to do them again. And I told them some of them we was going to do. And I told them that they was going to wait for the wind one for the summer camp. So we plan to do one.
That is fantastic. Oh my gosh. That
It
is
was great.
that's that is so amazing. Oh my gosh, great job. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Mhm.
That's a ton of kids that you reached. And it sounds like you guys had an awesome time. It sounds like the kids had a really awesome time, which is
They
that's
did. They had a ball.
that makes me so, so happy to hear.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with everyone. Um, anyone else, any other leap stories, leap successes, or any concerns, things that didn't go well? You can share that too if you want. This is
So I'm from Camphor at O'Malley, and we just did the Wind Box as our last. Our last family night was our Wind Box, and previously we've already done the Light and Shadows box. And it was really nice to like do a second one again, because we got to see like how much more improvement we had, and like how many more families were invested and how many more kids were invested. And my staff felt like so much more comfortable leading everything, like when we were doing our review sheet afterward. And I was like, okay, well, what could have gone better? What would you guys like to try and do for next time? And they were like, I don't know, and I was like, great, I love that answer. If you don't have something to tell me, that means it went really well. So we're doing our balance one next Friday. So I'm really excited to do that again, since the second one went so much better than the first. I'm really hoping that the third one will be even more up and beyond as well.
I hope so too. I'm so glad to hear that this is going good and that you guys are enjoying this program. That it just is really great to hear. Great. Okay. Oh, what time is it? Anyone else? We can hear from one more person if
So I
yeah.
had, we wound up with 5 different programs. And part of it was because once one group heard that we were doing this, another group wanted them. And then, oh, can you do it this? Can you do it here? So I actually had someone working with me who's a retired school teacher. So that helped. But and it was all different groups. They didn't overlap at all. We were closed for the whole place was closed for like 3 days during National Science Week. We had a huge snowstorms. So the first one was on a Sunday with the Girl Scouts out at the senior center. And we did balance. We did 4 or 5 different things. And so it worked out really well. And then we did one at the grade school for their science club for the 3rd graders. And then we did one, Pam did one over in Trapper Creek for the actual in-class. And then we did one as a family group, school was closed, the roads were terrible, but we wound up with about 8 kids and parents together. And then the last day was part of our Science Thursday science program. And that was really fun because most of them were really little. And they just had a great time. Nobody could do the balancing girls, not even none of the adults could do them. But we had balancing butterflies, and that worked out pretty well. So I didn't really have to change much from any of the programs. They were so well laid out, and it kind of encouraged me to go ahead and do this. But then our next programs we're going to do with the Denali Education Center, and we're going to do Light and Shadow and the Sun. And they have a great project, I think, from Alaska After School Network, or maybe it was Park Service, something that we're going to incorporate together and set up as a family type stations and also as a standalone program. So we may not get the 3rd one in. It's been crazy here. So
that is totally okay. And I remember you sending me those pictures of the snowstorm, and I was like, yeah, just do what you got to do. Like, don't worry about it. So it's great to hear that you guys persevered through that. I know that weather is always going to be a struggle with getting kids out. Anyway, great job. Thanks to all of you so much again who shared in the chat, and everyone who shared out. It's really great to hear about all these successes. Okay, so here I'm gonna close out my participant window. Okay, there we go. Okay, and I'm actually going to pass it off to Elizabeth, who's going to do one more quick review of the core 4 strategy.
Absolutely. And this is a fairly quick review of the core 4 strategies. This is, as you remember, and they kind of go in a circle clockwise, starting with asking questions. Yeah, oh, there we go. Something that's going to pique curiosity, that drive exploration. If you can avoid a yes or no question, and a question that would encourage them to go do something physically or think about what happened physically. And then we start by asking questions, then we encourage scientific thinking. What did you observe? So these are the questions you could, what did you observe? What do you think will happen next? What if we tried? I love to tell kids, we can try it. We can make a mess. You can't really break it. It's going to be good. I also tell that to grown-ups too. So we're going to go to make connections. When you make connections, we can connect to what's happening in the experimental zone as well as in their real life. Oh, I guess we're doing, yeah. So I guess we don't go quite in a circle. We go cultivate rich dialogue and then make connections, but I'm going to go in a circle. So, so you got all the things to balance. Can you balance? We're making connections with the wind because that's the one I've done most recently. Oh my gosh. Have you ever watched all of your hair blow out in the wind? And then we're encouraging them, when you do this, when you are the scientist, when you observe, when you do that, and we're using our rich dialogue. So I often say the question twice, and I know a lot of you guys do this. What do you predict? What do you think will happen? So I give them that vocabulary, and then I immediately give them that definition. What did you observe? What did you see happen? As a way to put that rich vocabulary and teach them like a scientist and to share with them. So those 4 strategies. Go to the next slide. Perfect. Oh, I made this comment from MJ and Juno. We are all scientists from participants. Love it. Lots of engagement. That's, I think, a lot about the core 4 is that we are all scientists. We can all observe and predict, try and risk things and see what happens. So we're going to do a Zoom poll, which is, how likely are you to use some of these 4 these 4 ideas in future STEM programming? Even if you don't necessarily call it that, or yeah.
You guys let me know if you can see the poll.
So
it looks like we got people answering, so that's good.
awesome. Cool. So I'm seeing the majority of people are saying they're already using these. I know that's when I was trained first on this. I was like, oh, this is really similar to Every Child Ready to Read, to dialogic reading concepts, to the way you talk to kids. This is similar to the way I think a lot of us have been trained in various early education and education settings to talk to and encourage kids. So I do see a lot of people saying already using these frequently in our STEM programming. It is new for some people, but they're going to use them again, which is awesome. I don't see anyone saying they're not going to use it, so thank you very much for that. It's always very exciting. But yeah, it does look like most of you guys are going to use it. And I think even if you don't necessarily, I think sometimes it becomes ingrained and we just do that, and that becomes how we talk to and interact with kids in the program, which is fantastic. But it is nice to consciously stop and say, this is how I'm going to talk to a child. This is how I'm going to interact with the family in my program. And this is why I'm doing that, to do that and to build that with intention. Oh, I can share the result. I have a share result button. Oh, I think you guys already saw that.
Yeah, I shared them and then I just stopped sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I shared
Awesome.
them. It's kind of hard to tell when you're a co-host what the other person is doing. So yeah, no, I shared the results right after. Okay, yeah.
Oh, and I love this comment from Jerry and Talkeetna. The kids didn't think themselves as scientists at first. I think they do now and are more confident asking questions. That is like amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Jerry. That's exactly the idea. Yay.
Okay, and I changed the slide to show the next question. I'm gonna try and open the poll, the next poll. If I can. Yeah, so this one's about the most used core 4 strategies. And I'm just gonna go ahead and launch it.
Ah, perfect. Yes. Which of the core 4 are you most useful?
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, I know a few people joined us late. If you're just joining us, there's a poll open. Yeah, feel free to answer, type in the chat. Yeah. Okay, here I'm gonna end. I think I'm gonna end the poll. I'm missing a few people, but I think we got most people in, and I'll share the results.
So what's great about this is it's a even-ish split. I feel like Cultivate Rich Dialogue was getting the less. I think maybe we're all kind of already doing that a little bit. But I really like that everyone it's even split. It's everyone's finding the thing that is the most useful for them.
Jerry said there should have been an all of the above, which I agree. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah, they're all pretty useful.
Yeah.
It's good to know that making connections and asking questions were popular ones that people found useful.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put a quick survey down here. This is just wanted to make sure I got this in here before everyone left. Sometimes people have to leave meetings early. This is just my reminder to put our training survey in there. So this is just, I know we've had you guys fill out a ton of forms and a ton of surveys. This one is actually from the Alaska After School Network. It's our training survey that lets us know how the training went for you, what you thought of our training, and what we can do better. It's very quick and painless, I promise. So you can take a minute to fill it out while during the training if you want, if that helps to give you the time to fill it out. You can fill it out anytime, even as we're talking to you guys. Just wanted to put that in there. Please fill it out if you have a second, because it helps us do better with our trainings. Great. Okay, so now we're going to do a quick breakout room just to give you guys a chance to talk. You guys always have really good insights when you come back from the breakout rooms. So I feel like it'd be useful to give you guys one more chance to all talk with each other about your general thoughts on Leap into Science. Things you enjoyed the most. I know we've gotten a lot of positive feedback so far. So anything you would change would be great. Anything you think that could have been done differently, anything that could have been more efficient or that you would love to add or see more of, anything like that. And I'm gonna work on getting those breakout rooms open. Breakout rooms, create. We'll do 3 to 4 per room. Okay, and we'll see you guys back in I think we'll take like 8 minutes. So it's already 1:24. So 8 minutes, and just any thoughts you guys have on Leap into Science. And I think rooms are open now. Hey Garrett, were you able to find the breakout room There should have been a window that opened up, but if you're not seeing that window, oh, perfect. Hey, Maddie, we just got done with breakout rooms. We were just in our last minute, so I didn't assign you. But yeah, we just did a quick breakout room. We'll have people share as everyone comes back. They have another like 30 seconds or so. And we just have a few people wrapping up their conversations. Okay, I think everyone is back now. So welcome back, everyone. Does anyone feel interested in coming off mute to share? You can just come right off mute. You don't have to. I'm not seeing any raised hands. I know that in my group, we talked a little bit about adaptability to indoor and outdoor settings. That's if you don't have a lot of indoor space, the light and shadow was hard to use outside. I remember talking about that earlier. Not quite the same as wind. Elizabeth, was there anything in your room?
I thought it was interesting that a number of us had sort of a similar experience in that it wasn't necessarily easy always, like some of the directions about for things we would change, like the directions about like which supplies went with which activities, or like prompt card for parents or caregivers at each station could have been a little bit more like clarified. But we all, in general, really enjoyed the kits, and they were very extensive, and they had all of our supplies and had a lot of fun with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I think that's it maybe was a little bit of a hard prompt just because I think people are having trouble coming up with anything they would do different, which is really great to hear. I mean, I think the program was set up really efficiently by the Franklin Institute. Like the kits pretty much came with everything. All we had to do was order everything and put it together. A lot of it, there was some things with the instructions that I think it comes with a lot of supplies. All the kits come with a lot of things. So it's not exactly the fastest setup just because you're setting up a ton of stations, and that can be an added difficulty, I think. Anyone else, and you can share anything that I wanted to keep the topic broad just so that no one would feel like they were off topic if they wanted to share any conversations they had or thoughts they had. So space is open if anyone wants to share.
This is Adrian.
Yeah.
I actually limited how much I put out. I had 3 tables for the older kids and 3 tables for the younger kids. And that way we was able to kind of keep track of everything. So, and then I had 7 tables for the balancing stuff, just because of the birds, and I wanted to separate a few things out a little bit. But we made sure we just kind of kept it. We have a small space, so I kept it in a smaller area. So we didn't use all the items in the kit, but we took a poll of what we was going to use and what we liked better. So I found out that the styrofoam for the leaning tower did not work out so well. One of my toddlers got a hold of it and took a bite out of one of them. So that was, and then I had one about a 5-year-old. He took as many toothpicks as he could possibly put in all the styrofoams and stuck them all together. So yeah, the styrofoams didn't survive very well.
Oh my gosh.
So the second day, the styrofoams didn't come out.
And
In
that
our
is-
group,
yeah.
yeah, and in our group, there was a couple of them that had a good laugh about their bouncing day. Everybody couldn't stand and balance, so they all had a good laugh instead of trying to balance.
That's great. That's perfect. Adapting to the situation with, I'm glad that the styrofoam thing, I think that was probably the right decision to not bring the styrofoam out again. You never know how this stuff is going to go. And I've only ever observed one actual leap into science activity with the kids. So it's, yeah, it's can be very unpredictable, and I'm glad that they encourage adapting to the use whatever stations you like. So that's great. And same thing with the core 4, like we said, this is meant to be adapted to what works best for your program. That's one of the things I really like about LEAP, is that it's not meant to be followed super strictly. You're allowed to adapt it however meets the needs of your program. So yeah, that's great. Anyone else before I move on? Any thoughts? Oh, we should check the chat too. Oh, Susan just asked, will Franklin Institute be doing more of these kits? Yeah, so this is probably a good time to share, especially because I shared in our breakout room. The Franklin Institute's grant that they had for Leap into Science, it was, the foundation will not be renewing their grant. So the Leap into Science program is closing officially on a national level. The network is not going to be, it's not going to be a network anymore, which is very sad, because it would be great for them to be doing more kits. But unfortunately, those won't be available. The good news is, and I found this out from Emily early, right before our session. You guys, first of all, you'll have your kits for, those are yours to keep. You have the instructions, you have the tent cards. Also, you will still have access to the Leap into Science, leap.fi.edu website, and all of the resources on there. You will not lose your login. Your login won't expire at the end of the year or in May when the program officially closes. So you will have access to that with your login for as long as indefinitely. The one thing I will say, though, is I'm not sure how long. They're still working out how the website will be maintained. And I'm not sure that LEAP support will still be available. I don't know if there will be someone at the Franklin Institute working on maintaining your logins, being that tech support on the other end. So I would suggest, just to be on the safe side, if there are certain resources you want to make sure you have access to, like copies of the curricula, which I'll show you again on the website, you might just want to have that downloaded and saved somewhere, just in case, since the program itself is ending. Even if the website's still going to be up, and even if you can access it, might be best to be on the safe side and get those downloaded if you want them. So that's a great question, Susan. I'm glad you asked that. And thank you to all of you who shared. I'm glad to know that this is going well. And I feel like I know the answer to this poll. I feel like we don't even really need to take it, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. Here, let's open up this next poll. And this is asking whether or not you will be using Leap into Science again, how likely you are to use the curricula and your kits. So I'll give maybe like 20 seconds or so to respond. Yeah. Okay, we just got a few more people. Get your responses in. I'm gonna close it and let's say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay, everyone says they'll likely use it again. I feel like I knew this from the beginning, but thank you so much. It's really great to know that most of you will definitely be using the kits again. That's what LEAP wants. It's a capacity building curricula, so it's designed to be used again. We really, really hope that you'll use your kits again. And feel free to use the Leap into Science model again, meaning, combining the reading portion with the science. If you have a new book that you really love and you notice a science concept in it, it's a great way it's a great thing to use to build a science activity off of, because it's just a simple and familiar way to introduce younger age kids to a science concept. So yeah, great. Thanks so much to all of you. Oh, and thanks, MJ. So, you're very welcome. I feel like this was an easy program for us too. It was run really efficiently for the state leaders too. It was designed in a way that made it pretty easy on us as well. Okay, great. Here, I'm going to stop sharing results. And I think I'm going to pass it off to Elizabeth, and she'll talk more about choosing read-aloud books for combining science activities. Yeah.
Okay, so what makes a good read-aloud book? I think, is there something on the next slide, or is this just me pontificating? It's just me. Okay, good. And I think a lot of you already know this. Of course, captivating stories, something that's interesting and exciting. It doesn't need to have a lot of text. Sometimes too much text is actually a deterrent for it being a good read aloud book. And I think that one thing that we tend to forget is what's a good book when you have a child sitting beside you or on your lap is not the same as when you are working with an entire group of children. So clear and accurate science concept, a relevant ethnicity, culture, language for your group, and as much as you can reflect your own community, and you keeping your pages visible when reading. I also would like to say, trying to avoid books that to understand or grasp the concept, you need to see very small details of the photos or the illustrations. I tend to sometimes prop a book up on a chair, step back 10 feet, sit on the ground like I'm a child, and see if that book is still clear to me. If it is not, and it's probably not the best read aloud book. And sometimes, I think in the best of worlds, we can find all of these on the same book. I think Blackout is an excellent, it's got the shadows, the light, that is fantastic. It's relevant culturally in that it's racially relevant. It's not necessarily geographically relevant in that it's a very urban environment that does not reflect most of Alaska, but that's fun because that does show another world, which is great. It's a mirror or window into a different world. So I think it's great if you can do all of those. You cannot always do all of those. And so obviously prioritize and find the best book that does the best at most of those. I like Jerry's comment about she thought it was excellent. This program was great with her science background. Thank you, Jerry. Okay. So also choose books that extend concepts by providing additional information, again, highlighting diverse community, and focus on the process, which is really fun. If you look at, they show you Ada Twist Scientist, Rosie Revere Engineers from that same series, which shows a child failing and trying again, failing and trying again to really show those concepts as well. And of course, Ada Twist, Tana Hoban, and What is a Scientist, of course, are all featuring our diverse communities. Here's a secret from a librarian who is a trained librarian. You don't have to read every page of a book. You don't have to read the whole book. I have often skipped pages. I have paper clipped pages together during story times that weren't important. I have said, hey, this is really fun. This is available if you want to look at it on your own later or check it out. We're going to stop right here now. Leave them wanting a little bit more. Also avoid outdated content or text-only books. It's time to get rid of those books that say Pluto is a full planet and not a dwarf planet, and I'm sorry. But yes. All right. I think I'm going to turn it back over to Lily. Jerry's laughing at me.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over a quick review of leap.fi.edu. I feel like I haven't talked about this too much in the last two trainings, and I just want to make sure during our last session that you all know where everything is, where all the resources are. Here I'm gonna, and again, as I said, leap.fi.edu will be available to you pretty much permanently. It's not going to end in May. Here we go. That didn't work, but that's okay, because I think I'm going to be able to click right here. Okay, great. Okay, so starting with curricula, all of your curricula are available right here in the curricula tab. If you download, this will give you a full booklet with all of the instructions for all three formats, meaning pre-K, elementary, and family. You're not obligated to follow those formats specifically. Remember, if you remember back to our first training, we talked about how family is done in a station setting and pre-K and elementary are done sequentially all together in a structured format. It's totally open to however you want to do it. There's no restrictions on what you can do for each age group. But those instructions are all there. Your question guides are there. Supply lists are there. And also a really useful guide on the science concepts and how those can be translated, as well as info on how to use the core 4 strategies throughout each activity. So for each of your 3 kits, the full curriculum guide can be found here. Just you can download it in English and Spanish. Also a full list of all the materials and sources to find them. Some of you may have already noticed some of the links here are a little bit outdated, but most of them are useful and can help you find the supplies you need if you need to reorder anything, or if you ever want to do that in the future. Your educator tab is right here. This is where you can find your workshop reports. Remember, you're going to want to get those in by April 12th or email me. And also your educator handbook, which you won't need after this point. That's mostly has all of your expectations in it. So yes, this again will be available to you. You can use it as much as you want. Please do, because it's available to you. And remember to get things downloaded in case you want to, just in case as the program ends, just to be on the safe side, you can download anything you need. Your educator tab, curricula right here, just like I said, pretty easy to navigate, but I thought I'd go over it. Remember to use your question guides. Those are really useful. I think there's a printed copy in each of your kits. Those are a really useful tool for going through reflections throughout. Probably the most foundational bottom of the pyramid core 4 strategy is asking questions. So using this question guide, handing it out to caregivers at the beginning to help guide them through guiding their little ones through the activity can be really helpful. So make sure you make use of those as well. Also the connectory. I know the connectory has been a little bit of a pain. It can be a little bit difficult to navigate, and there were some technical difficulties early on. But I did want to say the connectory is still there for you to use. All of you now have a profile that you have created, so you can use and continue to use the connectory from now on. It is a great way to promote your STEM experiences or your STEM activities at your program, and it's totally free to use. So I would encourage you, if you so desire, to continue using the connectory to promote your STEM activities, because it's a useful way for parents to find STEM activities in their area. It's not used, I don't think, super frequently in Alaska right now, but it's one resource that's available for you to use if you so choose. So just know that that's available. And if you are still having any technical difficulties with the connectory, please email me and let me know, because I'm happy to help with that before my year as a STEM Vista ends. If you want to learn more about the connectory, if you have any questions about the connectory, reach out to me before April 12th, because I can help set that up if you're having any technical difficulties and you'd like to use it in the future. Okay, and last but not least, we're gonna do one more review of expectations before the the LEAP program closes out this May. Okay, so we're gonna do this using Zoom polls. And I'm gonna open this up. This is just asking how many Leap into Science activities have you held at your program so far? And this is separate activities. Okay. This won't be representative of the whole group because I don't think most of us are here right now, though we do have quite a few people. Okay, and make sure you get your answers in. We're still waiting on a few people. I'm gonna close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Great, so we have, it looks like 7 people have done 3 or more, 7 have done 2, and 1 has done 3. None of you have done none. Everyone here has done at least 1 Leap into Science activity. So that's great. That's awesome. It looks like everyone is pretty much on track. 7 of you are totally done and have completed all 3 of your required Leap into Science activities. So that's really awesome. Thank you guys so much. Am I still sharing results right now? Okay, let me make sure I can close that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now what I want to ask is how many activity reports, workshop reports, as Leap into Science calls them, have you been able to submit so far? So I'm going to launch this poll and just share how many reports you've been able to get in. Great, you guys are fast now. You guys are getting them in. Oh, looks like. Okay, answers in, and we'll be ending the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get those answers in. We're still missing a few people. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. Okay, so this is a little different, and this is just a friendly reminder to everyone to make sure you get those workshop reports in. It looks like most of you have at least 1 in. Just a few people haven't gotten the reports in yet, and that is okay. Just make sure you get them in before April 12th. And if you're having any problems getting your workshop reports in, just email me and let me know. I'm happy to help. I know I actually spoke to one person. One person emailed this morning saying that they were having some technical difficulties getting their reports in, and that is totally fine. Just let me know and we will work something out. I can always email you the questions and you can email me back and I'll get the report in manually. So friendly reminder, make sure you get those reports in before I leave. And if you can't, I will work something out with you. So thanks so much. I'm going to stop sharing the results. Okay. And one more reminder, all 3 activity reports, just go to your educator tab, click on this little middle bar that says complete the workshop report after every workshop, and it'll take you to a Google form. There's about, I think, 6 short answer questions. The rest is just asking for your info and some rating questions. So very quick Google form, just letting us know how the activity went. This goes actually to our state profile. So the information goes to the national network and speaks to how well the program went and how effective the program was. So make sure you get those in, especially because we have so many successful stories here in Alaska. We want to make sure all of those get heard. So. Okay, yeah. And I think that this is it. I might put this in the chat or I'll just email it in your reminder email, which I'll send out probably by the end of the day. I'll make sure that the workshop report link is in there, as well as our training and educator survey for the after school network. For now, are there any questions? Yeah, MJ, I will send out both a reminder email, and I'll make sure that everyone has access to that link. I'll even send maybe the guide as to where to find it on your educator tab too, but I'll include the link to the workshop reports in the email that I send out. Yeah, and it's just a quick Google form. Any other questions that you guys have related to anything? If you forgot to put one of your workshops in the connectory, that's okay. The connectory is something that National Girls Collaborative is partnered with the Franklin Institute in this for the Leap into Science program, and the connectory is from National Girls Collaborative. So it was a resource that's there and it's available to use. It's one of the requirements, but if you forget to do it, it's okay. The thing we want to make sure you get in is your workshop report. But yeah, if you can remember from now on to get your workshops into the connectory, that would be great. Because it is a useful resource, and it reflects well on the program, and it helps the connectory if you can get those updated to the connectory. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. It's okay if you forgot to put one in there, though. We're not going to penalize you for not getting that in there. But yeah, just a good resource to use, and it's available to you from now on too. So it's there for you to use, and it can be a useful resource for getting the word out. Oh, thanks so much. I'm not so sure where I'm gonna go yet. I hope so too. Thank you. Thank you, Adrienne. Any other questions? Anything? You can also feel free to email me with questions, me or Elizabeth, anything you guys need as we close this out. Elizabeth, is there anything I forgot? Anything you want to add? Great. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you guys all so much. This has been a really, really wonderful experience for me to get to do this as my Vista year project. It's been really wonderful hearing all of your stories about how LEAP has gone, and I'm really glad that I got to be a part of this. I'm not going away yet, of course. I will be in touch with all of you guys as this program closes out. So yeah, just a big thank you to all of you. Thanks for all being here today too. It's great. And thanks, Elizabeth, for being here as well. Okay. Well, bye everyone. Thanks so much again.